Hi everybody, this is Dr. Stauber. I want to talk about an issue that a lot of parents bring up to me, and that's bedwetting. Believe it or not, a lot of parents actually blame their children for wetting the bed. They think that they're doing this to get back at them for something, and this really couldn't be further from the truth. The anguish that most of these children deal with is terrible. They can't go to camps, they can't go to sleepovers, they don't participate in a lot of things. Simply because of their bedwetting situation. So is there an answer to bedwetting, and can you get help with it? Well, the answer is yes, and here's why. You need to understand that as a child is born, okay, a sleeping child or a baby, let's say an infant, okay, as an infant sleeps throughout the night, their respiration or their breathing slows considerably. So most parents will tell you that at some point or another, they've watched their child sleep and their breathing gets so slow and they say, oh my gosh, my child has stopped breathing. When in fact, and then suddenly the child will kind of shudder and take a nice deep breath and the normal breathing cycle will return. So what's happening there? Well, as the baby, this happens throughout the whole night. As the baby's breathing gets very slow, carbon dioxide levels start to build up within the system. That triggers this phrenic reflex, which signals the diaphragm or the big breathing muscles to pull the diaphragm down and pull oxygen into the system. That brings oxygen back into the system to level out the high levels of carbon dioxide. Now, this reflex is not something that you're born with. It's developed. As a child gets older, then the reflex becomes stronger and develops properly. In some cases, these reflexes are slow to develop. Some of them are hereditary, and I'm sure many people will tell you that their grandmother was a bedwetter, or their aunt, or their mom, or their sister. But in many cases of sluggish or slow phrenic reflexes, you'll see a lot of bedwetting. Now, what does this have to do with bedwetting? Well, high levels of carbon dioxide in the body trigger smooth muscle relaxation. And an example of a smooth muscle is your urinary bladder. The bladder is what holds all the urine before you let it out. So the sphincter or the valve is also a smooth muscle. And when that valve is relaxed, out goes the urine. So you've got all this urine stored in the bladder, okay? And as the child sleeps, the bedwetter usually has intoxicating levels of carbon dioxide in the system. And as the child sleeps and gets into a further state of sleep, the levels rise, the smooth muscles relax, the bladder relaxes, the valve opens, and out comes the urine. Involuntarily. Has nothing to do with the child's ability or inability to hold it. Okay? As they get older and that reflex develops normally, they can usually retain the urine all night. So many parents will tell me that their children are very active, and the minute they go to sleep or they try to wake them up in the middle of the night, excuse me, it's like trying to wake someone from a coma, and they're just so sluggish and so tired that they hardly can get up. They walk them to the bathroom, tell them to urinate, they walk them back to bed, and they tell them to go back to sleep. And in many situations, they'll say that, the bed was just as wet in the morning when they take him to the bathroom than when they don't take him or her to the bathroom. So this reflex is also a little slower to develop typically in boys than it is with girls. Boys develop a little slower sexually than girls do as well. And so that's why bedwetting is actually more common in boys. Doesn't mean it, girls don't have it as well, because I've seen it quite often in young girls as well. But what can I do to help? What can chiropractors do to help? Well, the answer is very simple. What chiropractors do is address the issue of the phrenic nerve reflex. Now, the phrenic nerve comes from there's three branches of it that come from your neck, okay? And it comes from C3, C4, and C5. And we used to say in school, 3, 4, and 5 keep the diaphragm alive. So if there's disturbance at that level, then you're not able to get a good full breath into the system. High levels of carbon dioxide develop, smooth muscle relaxes, out goes the urine. So if bedwetting situations are going to respond, and if it's because of a problem or a disturbance to those nerves in the neck, then you will see results usually very quickly. I like to see kids anywhere between 8 to 10 times over a couple month period. And as that starts to work, if it's going to work, you will see it right away. And within that period, we work on talking to the parents about the psychology of it, because there's a lot of things that go along with that. Sleep deprivation, parents are getting up, they're just as fatigued and annoyed as the child is from changing sheets and whatnot. So I hope this helps. The long and short of it is there's natural solutions out there. Chiropractic works great when this is the problem. So if you'd like a consult for your child, if you have questions about it, please don't ever hesitate to call 705-984-9077. On Facebook, Dr. Aaron Stauber, and drstauber.com. So don't hesitate to call. I hope this helps, and have a super, super day. Thanks.